Hey everyone. I just wanted to come on here and do a little bit more detailed video about fractional shares and the opportunity. Currently, the last video we did was kind of the 5 main questions. The reason we're getting questions is we have a listing that's live that is fractional shares. So I thought to kind of give an example, I'd talk a little bit about the listing, give you guys a little bit more details. Some people, including myself, understand things a lot better when you have an actual example and details and when it's not so vague. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of information on the new construction house we're working with right now. The address is 4840 Northeast 28th Avenue in Lighthouse Point. It's on the north end of the city. It's a 8,000 square foot lot, 80 feet on the water by 100 feet deep. The builders are Pacific Contractors. The GC is Bruno. He's incredible. He actually built a house on 29th, one street over, just got CO, just closed. A beautiful house. This house is very similar in model, and some of the interior takes that we have, I'll show you shortly, are actually from the previous home. The home that they're building now is slightly bigger. Not much, about 250 square feet bigger, similar size lot, actually the same canal, just the other side of the canal. It's a great opportunity. So in short, I'll kind of show you this, and I'll probably throw things up on the screen so it's a little bit cleaner, but I'll kind of show you guys what I'm looking at. The house is a 5-bedroom, 7-bathroom, and there is an office. It's just under 5,000 square feet, 4,840, I want to say, 4,870 under air. 2-car garage. There is a charging port for either a golf cart or a electric car, Tesla, whatever it may be. And speaking of that, that's where this is a little bit interesting. We are selling this. It's a $6 million home, realistically. So we're listed at 6.15 if you did want to buy the whole home. Our goal is to sell it fractionally, 8 shares. The way that works in the other video, talked about it a little. I'll give a little in depth and kind of use this as an example. We're doing actually 7 shares for this home. We are doing 6 shares at 1/8 each, which is 3/4 of the home, and we're doing 1 share at 1/4. You're allowed to buy multiple shares if you want to. Someone can come in and buy half the house. They can buy 2/8, 3/8, whatever you decide, or your 1/8. There would be discounts as you go up. 1 share is listed for $775, and 2 shares is actually $1.5 million. So you would get yourself a little bit of a discount if you did decide to buy that second share. I mean, you'd save yourself $50 to $1,000, $25,000 a share. Nothing crazy, but it's still money. The way that it works is it's all going into an LLC. So the home itself, 4840, is going to have an LLC. This LLC will own the home, the actual structure, and the land. And then we're going to be buying a 34 Sport Coupe NX sport boat, which has a little cuddy cabin, 2 outboard engines. That boat is also going to be brand new, custom done, and included with the house. And then we're doing a 6-seater golf cart, which is street legal, going to go in the garage. Everyone that has their insurance, their home, everything else will be able to use the golf cart. We'll be able to use that. So it's all going to be owned by the LLC. And that LLC, basically, you can buy 1/8 share, which is the equivalent of 6 weeks out of the year, for $775,000. It's a little different than a timeshare, as you do have actual ownership rights. So as I kind of mentioned in another video, if you did buy this and you wanted to sell it, you could turn around and list it back on our marketplace, on the MLS, however you want to do it. But the property is able to be relisted and sold. You do own those assets. The only thing is there would be first right of refusal. So the other 5, 6, 7 owners, whoever owns it, would have the right to purchase your share before it hits open market at the agreed upon price you'd be listing it at. Just allows the people in the building, if they want to acquire more shares or time, they'd have the ability to. Getting back to time. So you have 6 weeks a year here. It's basically on a portal that you'd go online and you just block out your time. Everyone gets a holiday a year. You do not get the same days every single year. It resets. So, and you can trade days. So let's say you have a week booked in the summer, and then all of a sudden your kid's in town from college and they want to go do something completely different. You can call one of the other owners or put it up on the board in the marketplace, and one of the other people can trade with you. You can trade your week for their week, whatever it may be. So there's a ton of options to kind of make it work. And there's a lot of flexibility with it. There's also 2 or 3 weeks that the ownership keeps to be able to do repairs, to be able to clean the home and get everything ready. So God forbid there's a kind of extenuating circumstance. A lot of times there's also the ability for you to reach out to ownership and potentially trade one of your weeks for one of the weeks that they have available, as long as they don't already have a scheduled project for that time. So since we're kind of talking a little bit more about this property than just anything in general, with fractional shares, like I said, when you're buying it, you're buying 1/8 of ownership in this home, which is going to be professionally furnished and designed. It's going to come with the 6-seater gas golf cart, which is street legal, and it will come with the Sport Coat 34-foot boat. So you get a little bit more than normally what you get, which a lot of people, when you're buying this home, it's going to be your second, third residence, and it's going to be a vacation time. So you want to be able to just come in with your suitcase with your few things and just go. Have the golf cart, have the boat, have the pool ready, have everything ready. That's the way it works. The process is also, there's professional management that will be running the LLC and managing the home. There'd be extra charges, but you'd have the ability, if let's say you want to have the fridge stocked or have specific things there and done for certain guests, or when you get there, there's charges for it like there would be anything else, but you can easily get that all set up. So you can come in with all your Zima water or whatever your Powerades in the fridge, or your Chobani yogurt, whatever you want, you can come in and kind of have it locked in and done, just to save you not just the time, but the hassle. If you're only here for a week or two, maybe you don't want to spend the first day or two prepping the property. So that's part of what you get with this, kind of the whole all-inclusive. It's a lot of people, when you first start talking about it, they immediately think it's similar to timeshare. It's actually completely different in my opinion. Timeshare, you just don't really own the asset, and you have such little time and there's very little flexibility. This, you have a lot more time, you have a lot more flexibility. I almost picture it more as like a Ritz, where you own the residence, or Four Seasons, where you own the residence, but at the same point in time, they have concierge and they have 5-star service. So if you need something and you're on your way in, you just call and it's in your room when you get there, or it's in your fridge when you get there, the boat's gassed up, or the captain's there ready on day 2 to take you guys fishing. All that is already can be set up pretty easily and organized pretty easily here. So it's a lot more like a Ritz or a 5-star service than it is like a timeshare. The other thing that I think is kind of a big one, and I just kind of hinted on it, was the captain portion. The process comes with, we will have a captain fully vetted, able to run the boat in the area license. So if there's ever a time when you guys are coming in town and you want to take it out for 3 or 4 days and you're not comfortable using the boat, we can have a captain there, and they can have it set up and they can take you and your family out. They can drop you off to dinner. They can take you to the sandbar. They can kind of do whatever you'd want to do. But it'll be a list of probably the same person or the same 1 or 2 people. So you'd almost have that rapport. The more you come back, the more you'd see them. But that's kind of our goal, is to really make it as all-inclusive of a package as you can for the home, where you really, once you purchase your share or multiple shares, you're done, you're locked in, for as long as you want to be. I mean, the second you want to turn around and sell it, you can sell it, and you most likely will probably make some money on it. The market's hot down here. I think as this process starts taking off more, there's going to be more of a demand, and the values are going to go up. Right now, I almost say, at 775, you're getting a deal on this, if we're being honest. I know it sounds kind of funny, but a 775 house down here is a small 2 or 3 bedroom house. It needs a lot of work. Not on the water, maybe with a pool. Whereas 775, you only get 6 weeks, but you're also in a $6 million house on the water with a boat, fully furnished, golf cart. So if this is your second or third home, a lot of clients do that. Your second or third home, you're only there 1, 2, maybe 3 months out of the year. Buy 2 shares if you need to. Even at $1.5 million, you're still much cheaper than the $6 million house. You'd have to be paying a $5 million house to have a similar experience. And there's a lot of overhead and maintenance costs, which really isn't talked about much. And here, I mean, that's the last thing I'll kind of touch on both the pros and the cons. So all of your costs are going to be bundled. So ownership in your shares, all of the costs, the pool service, the yard service, the cable, the electric, everything is bundled and then split up by shares for everyone paying their share. When work needs to be done, that work is basically approved by management, and then it is same way it's billed and split up to your shares. So yes, there's that sort of so you're on your billing side, you are getting a monthly bill to cover your taxes, insurance, everything else. but you're only paying a 1/8 share of that. So on the other side, if you're an owner, and I mean, we have a lot of clients who own their home for 2, 3, 4 months, or they own it for the year, but they're only here 2, 3, 4 months out of the year. And it's not just you come in and everything's dirty, it needs to be cleaned, or no one's flushing the toilets or doing this or doing that, and all of a sudden you come in, there's a big leak and there's all these problems. It's just when it's not being used and maintained and looked after on a daily basis, it can be a problem, and most people aren't paying somebody to come in their home every day, every couple days. So you have that, and then you have the intrinsic costs that most people don't talk about of taxes, insurance, and your maintain costs. So I mean, on a $5 or $6 million house, I mean, your taxes could be $50,000-$60,000 a year, if not 70, 80. I mean, realistically, depending on what city you're in, a millage rate for this home, taxes could potentially be $60,000 to $75,000 a year. With insurance, I mean, you could be $75,000, $80,000 a year. So you're looking at $6,000, $7,000 a month. So on months you're not here, you could be $10,000 a month, even if you don't have a mortgage on the home, just maintaining the home, the boat, the property, everything else. So it's one of those things where if you're not here 8 months out of the year, to spend $80,000 to $100,000 is pretty crazy, where you wouldn't need to necessarily do that. You're only paying for the time that you're using, which is a really nice feature of this. On the other side, I mean, you pay $775 for your share. In a couple of years, your share's probably worth $800 or $850. So then you're able to, and that's just not throwing numbers out, but just the way that it'll work is the demand comes up. They're not going to be continuing to build these properties as the demand is here and people start really catching on to what this is and the benefits of it. So I think it's something where as demand pushes up and property values continue to go up in South Florida, which I mean, interest rates drop a little bit. There's limited supply of properties and things being built. So it's supply and demand. It's basic. The demand will push. So, I mean, you could see this over 8 down the road. So even if you use it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and you're just paying your monthly maintenance cost, and in the end you flip it and break even or make a few bucks, you're really able to fully utilize the property and have ownership in it, but not have that extra 6-figure a year ownership cost on something that you might not be using. Instead, you could potentially divvy that up and get a second property, maybe in Vail or somewhere else, and have another 6 weeks somewhere else for your family to enjoy. So it really gives you some flexibility. I am going to be, throughout this video, going to be throwing up some infographics and things. If you guys have any questions about them, I can do attachments and I can actually put them in the bottom. Feel free just to post comments for whatever questions you might have on the property. I talked a little bit about it, but I didn't go into crazy depth. I'm going to do another video with me basically talking over front photos, videos, the renderings of the old home design, so you guys can get an idea of that as well. But this was more just to break down concept. Of trying to put the fractional share concept to an actual subject and give you a little kind of back and forth on that. The next one will be much more detailed on 4840 itself. Thank you guys very much. Please, as always, like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Have a great day.